Today we're kicking off 2022 DIYs here at Whiskey and Whit with some really easy and super adorable Valentine's Day DIYs, so stay tuned. This is Whiskey and Whit. My name's Whitney, and on this channel I love to share DIYs and budget home decor. I have a lot of tips, tricks, and tutorials around getting a home that you love on a budget. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, be sure to hit subscribe down below so you don't miss a future video. So I usually don't decorate a ton for Valentine's Day, but this year there are so many cute items out at the store, and I got really inspired to create some fun, both neutral and colorful DIY pieces for my home. So let's get into it. Our first project today is so easy, and it is a fun find that I recently found at Target. Now, I went in recently to look at the dollar spot, but they had some really cute unfinished wood pieces back in the back of the store with that seasonal section, and so I grabbed these X's and O's as well as this 3-pack of hearts. Each of them were only $5. So for the X and O set, that's exactly the same price you would pay at Dollar Tree now with the $1.25, and the other one, I think it's a really great deal for how solid the wood is. I just decided to finish them with a little bit of dark walnut stain, let that dry, and then I dry brushed a variety of colors over the top. You can do neutral like I did here with white, or I did a pink one and a red one. I did one set of an X and an O that was just white, and then I also did another set with 2 colors of pink. But you can paint these, stain these, do whatever you want to them, but they are a really great find for Valentine's Day. That Manda Llama line of stuff that Target has been carrying in their craft section has been awesome. I found some great items on Christmas clearance as well, so definitely check out that section when you're at Target. I'm really excited about this next one because it was inspired directly from a request from a subscriber. So Christina recently reached out to me and asked if I could dupe these signs from Hobby Lobby. They're really pretty and follow the watercolor motif that I love to do in my printables, and so I was really excited to be able to recreate these because they both, as you can see, were out of stock online. I designed them in Canva, and these will be a free download for you over on my blog, and then I used my new Epson EcoTank ET8500 photo printer to print them both out on some fine art paper. I popped them in some frames that I found for Christmas on Hobby Lobby clearance, and it's nice. I can keep those out of storage and just use them year round. The watercolor motif is right up my alley, and personally, I like these a little better than the Hobby Lobby version anyway. My son Finn absolutely loves the mail truck and gets very excited when it goes by and drops off mail each day. So I decided to go with a mail theme for some Valentines. To make the small ones, I used some paint stir sticks, and I used my miter box using the ruler that was already on there, and I cut out 2-inch pieces. Once you get to the end, you'll just have to kind of mark the next 2-inch piece, but I was able to get 4 2-inch little envelopes out of one stick, and you can get a 10-pack for like $1. So this is a very affordable DIY. After I cut them with my miter box, which I will also link for you, I had to sand them down a little bit and then take some white paint to paint all of the edges. Once those were dry, I took a fine tip Sharpie and drew first this little triangle to make the flap of the envelope, and then I made a border around the whole outside of my rectangle to start to create an envelope. Then to give it a little bit of Valentine's flair as well as some color, I used these little felt heart stickers from Dollar Tree. I got a 100-pack for $1 last year, but they are back out this year at $1.25. Then to display them, I used this gumball machine that I got last year from Target, but some Targets still have them out. I just stuffed the bottom with some leftover grocery bags and then added some felt to the top so it matched the red bottom. Then I took my cute little Valentines, made sure that the heart side was sticking out, and kind of arranged them in there. I didn't want them to be perfect matchy-matchy, but I did want the hearts to face the outside. Then I popped the lid on, added some ribbon, and it was ready to go. This is such a fun little piece that you can switch out for each season. I love the size and the little filler, so cute. Now, what if you want to do a little bit bigger of a Valentine? Well, you can easily adapt that same process. So for these larger ones, as you can see here for a comparison, I used a 1x3 piece of scrap wood that I just had in my garage. I used my miter box again because 1x you can easily cut down with that. Sand it down like I did before, paint it in a variety of colors. I did some white, some different colors of pink, as well as a red. And then for this one, I used an actual thicker Sharpie to do the lines, as well as one white paint pen on the red one. Then that pack of felt stickers came with 3 different sizes, so I used the mid-size hearts and added them to my little wood envelopes. I love these scattered around my mantle, and they look really cute with my unfinished wood letters, and they can add some fun to any tiered tray. If you want to go even bigger than that, I used this wood canvas that I had. Obviously, it looks like I'd start another project for Christmas and didn't finish it, so I just went over it with some white chalk paint, used the same marker, the largest sticker in the pack, and I ended up just doing 2 stickers so that the marker line wouldn't show through. So no matter what space you're trying to fill, you could adapt this with a variety of different pieces to make whatever size Valentines you need. This next one is a reimagination of a project I actually did for Christmas. I did it in white for some Santa milk for a prop, and this time I wanted to do strawberry milk. So I grabbed at Dollar Tree one of these coffee drinks so I could get a flat, kind of easy to work with bottle that looks just like a milk bottle. I poured everything out and took the sticker off, and then I did a mixture of white paint to make it more opaque, as well as this light pink color. I will link all the pinks that I'm using down below, so if you want to use the exact color you can. Then I added a little splash of water, like maybe a half a tablespoon. You don't want it to be too thin. And then just start swishing it around so your paint dissolves, as well as, adding a little bit more pink if you need it to get the color that you want. Then I spun it around, made sure it was evenly coated, dumped out the excess, and then let it sit for probably a couple minutes, like 1 to 2 minutes. Once it solidifies and all your extra stuff is coming out, then I just took a paper towel and wiped the top of it, so then that way it looked like the milk stopped just before the top of the jar. And then you're going to go ahead and let that dry completely. Then your last step, just pop in a festive straw. These are left over from Christmas, but I think they go really well with it. You could also add some stickers. I might add some words to it with my Cricut, I'm not sure, but right now I just like the look of the strawberry milk for a cute little prop for my Valentine setup. Sticking with our male theme, I wanted to fill these jars I got from Target with some fun little filler, and when I went to Hobby Lobby, they were all sold out of all the filler, but this was my inspiration, and I thought, you know what, I've got a ton of felt left over for Christmas, let me try to recreate. So here I'm taking a half sheet of felt and then folding it in thirds to cut 3 strips out of it. Now it all depends on how big you want your envelope to be. You could use a full sheet of felt, you could use the big piece of Dollar Tree felt, you could do the same thing and make a Valentine pillow. There are a ton of different options, but here I am just cutting a strip. You want it long enough, your rectangle, so that you can fold it over like an envelope like I'm doing here. Once it's that size, you are going to cut the top into a point, and then it's going to kind of look like a little house here, but this is the look you're going for before you stitch it together. Now this is super easy. I'm using a dowel needle as well as just some yarn from Dollar Tree, but you can get it anywhere. We're going to tie a knot at the end of our yarn, and then you're going to feed it through just the back piece of felt. So I'm tucking that little knot in, as you can see, and then we are just going to loop around the outside to have it hold together. So I'm going up from the bottom, pulling it through, and then going back around again, up from the bottom, pulling it through. This is not a blanket stitch, it's just literally looping it around the outside so it stays together. Then when you get to the top where you just have one piece of felt, instead of the double layer for the bottom of your pocket, you're going to do the same thing. That's just going to add that embellishment. You're not hooking anything together. The bottom part's functional, but the top is just so that everything matches. Then when you work your way to the other side, then start going through the 2 pieces of felt again. And then once you get around to the bottom, you're going to go across the bottom as well. So you are basically trimming this out to give it a little extra character. Then I just took my extra yarn, tied a knot in the back, and then you've got a little envelope with a pouch. Now to help fill up those jars, since they aren't very small, I wanted to get some more kind of surface area taken up, so I added a little bit of polyfill, but you could also use cotton balls for how small this is. Whatever you have to stuff it. Extra tissue paper from the holidays, really whatever you have. You don't have to go out and get anything to stuff it, just Walmart bags, whatever you got. I just added some more of those little felt stickers. I just went to town with those. It helped kind of tie everything together. I filled the smaller jar with smaller felt Valentines in a couple different colors, and I just tossed them in just like the gumball machine, making sure the hearts face the outside. But these jars are nice. They're glass. The lids are on with a gasket, so they'll stay on, and they were each $5 in the Target dollar spot recently. Then for my bigger jar, I wanted the same look, but I didn't want to have to stitch that many, so I just made a couple larger ones. I did a pink, a white, and 3 red with the larger hearts. And the two jars together I think look super fun and whimsy, and I also like that I can take the items out and switch the jars for the next season. For Halloween, I loved the Halloween kind of village. I love Christmas villages, and so when I found these really fun little houses on Walmart clearance for Christmas, I knew I had to get them. They were originally $9.98. I ended up getting them 75% off, so they were $2.98. So for each house being $3, I just decided to go over with red paint and pink paint over the black doors and the little eave and the window, just to make them more Valentines. Now, if you can't find these on clearance, no worries. What you could also do is go to Michael's. They sell some really awesome wood houses, bird houses, things. And if you get them on a sale or on a coupon, they are also going to be under $10 for you. So you could do the same thing I'm doing here if you can't find one of these houses on clearance. You could also do something similar with Dollar Tree bird houses. Now I'm using acrylic paint here, so I had to do a couple layers, but then once that was dry, I wanted to spice them up with a cute little pennant banner. So I'm just cutting a strip to the size that I thought. I'm not a big measurer, as you guys can tell by me just saying, it doesn't matter the size, just cut it approximately. But I just made some little squares in red, pink, and white. And then when I had my squares cut out, I decided to cut them into little banners. So I just had to dovetail the ends, and to do that, I folded it in half long ways. And then I'm going to cut on a diagonal. You're going to start on the folded over side. Then I'm just taking a strip of hot glue with my little glue gun, adding some twine to the top so it sticks, and I'm going to string up in any pattern that you want across the top. Once everything was applied, I just added some glue to either side of my house, like under the little roof overhang, stuck it down, and it hung up so well. I loved how it looked. With the red house, I ended up doing a little bit more of a swag in it, so I glued the middle piece, and then I ended up adding some hearts to the side from those felt stickers so that everything kind of tied together. But honestly, for under $10, this was such a fun project. Now this last one might be a long shot to find the specific sign because I recently found it in the Hobby Lobby clearance section. However, I wanted to show you how you could easily take a sign and kind of spice it up for any holiday. I had to get it. It was only $3.99, and the reason that I had to get it is because that's what I call Finn. And so I thought this would be really cute for Valentine's Day, but I wanted to spice it up because I wanted to add some color. So I used some felt and cut a larger pennant using that same dovetail technique from before. And then I grabbed some fun color fabric from Walmart. I've been loving the Waverly selection at my Walmart. Their craft section isn't that big, but their fabric, as you can see, has been really nice. Tons of stuff to pick from and relatively affordable for the fact that you get a yard compared to like $6.99 up to $9.99 at Hobby Lobby. I just cut some squares and did a variety of different sizes of pennants with the dovetail bottom. To add some little love to my felt pennant, I added another sticker from the felt pack that I've been using all video. And then once I was done with that, I glued them onto just a piece of jute twine so it would hang like a banner across the top. And then I used some hot glue on the back of the sign to hook the pennant banner so it would stay permanently on that sign. I really love how this looks on the mantle, and I love that it has a little bit more sentimental value beyond just some Valentine's Day decor. I figured it was also a great tie-in because I did all of the little letters for Finn, so, you know, call me a softie. It tends to happen when you're a mom, I guess. I'm just a huge fan of taking your home decor and making it your own so that it feels like your own home. It doesn't have to be something that anybody else made or did. You can make something that you love your own. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments your favorite project, and also let me know, how do you decorate for Valentine's Day? Do you do neutrals? Do you do a lot of color? A mixture of the two? And also, if you're new here, be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss a future Whiskey and Whit video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!